I'm Cynthia, and this is my girlfriend Allie, and we answered a fan request to interview Theory of the Deadman. So
where are we? We're in Slayerville, New Jersey.
Wow, but I don't think it's Slayerville. I think it's Theoryville.
Oh!
So we are ready to rock with Theory of the Deadman.
Very good. Very witty.
In the icebox.
We are actually Florida fans. We came all the way up here to catch your show.
Wow.
I happen to be doing some work up here, so we couldn't miss. And actually, we're going to see you tomorrow night, too, in Baltimore.
Oh, cool.
So the temperature is pretty much the same here as in Florida?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we rock hot and hard all night long. Doesn't matter what the temperature is.
Nice.
Cool.
You know, some of the questions I posted for you on MySpace were, it was easier to think about those questions, so I'm going to try to think about them now. But one of the questions, you know, I'm a fairly new fan of Theory of the Deadman. And one of the questions that I posted on MySpace that I wanted to ask you is a little bit about your music. You know, there's a lot of bands out there right now. A lot of bands are kind of playing the same thing. Fans are kind of getting inundated from the same old rock. But you guys have different sound. What is it about your music you think that speaks to some of the fans today? Why are you different?
Right there. You get this one, boys.
Take this one, would you?
You know, I don't know. I think lyrically, at least with Theory of the Deadman, we seem to have recently more than ever really been able to, I guess, hit the nail on the head with some singles we released with fans being able to relate to the content, you know, whether it's about a relationship or whatnot. I don't know why now more than ever, but for some reason it's just almost every song we release seems to just get this tremendous positive feedback. So I don't know if we're doing anything different. I think we've just been really blessed that a lot of the songs we've been releasing fans just been digging. Lyrically, a lot of people, a lot of women, just, you know, are liking Theory of the Deadman.
Part B to that answer is that we sold our souls to the devil and made a deal that he couldn't refuse, and now he just he buys our records.
When do you have to deliver your soul to hell?
Sooner than others. Yeah, Dave probably about 6 months.
Well, I have been promised upper management position, so looking forward to it.
Well, yeah, Dave. You know, Dave always says if you're going to go to hell, you might as well, you know, make sure you're the highest echelon up there. You might as well be the devil's right-hand man rather than be some slave down there, you know, big bonus.
I mean, you can't look at hell as, punishment for your bad deeds. You know, if you're going to be bad, these deeds are going to be acknowledged by somebody who likes to do bad things too. So it's like, hell is like heaven for bad people.
And rockers.
So that's where we belong.
There's a lot of people in hell right now.
That's right.
So the music industry is very different today than when I was a teenager back in the 80s. And I download music. I very rarely buy a CD. I'm on Amazon, I'm on iTunes. What do you like about that? Is it easier to access your fans than it was? Because I never had relationships with bands, going to shows and meeting them and saying hi and interviewing them. This never would have happened in 1980.
It's different now.
Yeah, definitely things have changed with technology. It is a lot harder to sell records. People don't sell records like they used to in the 80s when there was no downloading as an option. I guess for us now it's just about getting the fans that would maybe download our CD instead of buy it, maybe get them to buy a ticket to our show, or maybe get them to buy a t-shirt when they come to the show. Really, I've totally gotten off track with the question once, but...
What do you think about the push toward releasing more singles and fewer albums?
It's definitely becoming more of a singles market, much like in Europe. In Europe, they would just sell, singles in stores, not full albums. It's great if you can write songs. I think it takes away from bands that have looking at what I don't know those kind of bands are a bit more, but you got to listen to those writers as a whole. The one thing that is tough is a lot of bands nowadays that are, I guess, been around for a long time. They're forced to change with the technology, and they're forced to get on Twitter and get on the MySpace and use this technology that they never had used before to understand what fans are looking for. It was different, back in the day when Elvis, there was no Elvis Twitter or Elvis being like, oh, I just ate a banana fried sandwich. No, it didn't happen. But nowadays,
Picturing Ozzy Osbourne too.
Yeah.
But that definitely
It's like,
helps.
yeah,
I mean, get your name out there.
The fans love it. I love when you take pictures and you say, "Here I am, and I'm eating this right now." You take a picture of the table and you Twitter it. It's so
I'm
cool.
an In-N-Out burger in Vegas.
Yeah.
right, it's definitely a lot different than it used to be. But you know, on the other side of it, there is a lot of that, I guess, rock star. What would you call it? Facade. That's kind
Kind of mystique.
the mystique is kind of disappearing because people want to film. This is where I sleep. This is my house. This is this is everything about you. And after a while, it's almost like the mystique is disappearing.
Untouchable rock guy. That's
Yeah.
resisting.
Like,
It's harder for an artist to not see that.
yeah, because you, like I said, a lot of people are like, you gotta get with the Twitter, which we love because being a newer band, we still gain new fans every day. You guys, you said you're a newer fan. For us, that's huge to be able to do that. You know, like you said, all the fans like us, Paul McCartney or something. Oh, you're gonna have to Twitter. Hey, what you doing? I don't think that's going to happen.
So you mentioned Ozzy. You guys have been around for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
Who are some of your inspirations? Who have you toured with that have you walked out of a tour and said, "Wow, that person is doing something"?
Well, Motley Crue, we did a couple of tours with them, like you said. There's a lot of festivals, a lot of cool. You know, the first show we ever did was in Minneapolis, and we flew out and was hoping for Def Leppard.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's our
I
time.
know.
And we were just like, and you know, we play with a bunch of other bands that unfortunately, I don't know what they're doing anymore. I don't know if these bands have gone to do much recently. And we were talking the other day about, I don't want to play Def Leppard. Now, it was like 9 years ago, and here we still are playing shows.
Yeah.
But Def Leppard was, amazing. So, I don't know who else.
Played STP and then one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. It was their first comeback, the first show they did together again.
Yeah, Rock in the Range, we're all side stage. That was cool. Alice in Chains, the new lineup. Not really new lineup, new singer, but
Right.
played one show in Phoenix with them, saw that side stage, which was awesome. Stuff like that.
So when you guys go to these places and play with these people, do you look at them too and just admire everything they've accomplished? And you must feel blessed that you get to play the same.
Yeah, when I see people that I grew up listening
Right.
to, I still get a little bit like, wow, can't believe that I'm in the same room eating catering with so and so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're always a fan.
Yeah.
No
But I just
matter
go
what.
back there. I go back to that time when I was a big fan of these bands.
So what's next for Theory, and what would you want some of your new fans to know about Theory? Where are you going? Where do you plan to go over the next few years?
We're doing a European tour after this tour, and we're actually taking Hailstorm with us, which we're really excited about. After that, we're not really sure. I'm sure we'll be doing some festivals in the summer and that kind of thing, and potentially another tour. We don't really know. But it's getting close to that time where we got to start thinking about our fourth record and start writing some songs and look into that, I guess. What else? Anything else on the horizon?
You got it all. That's it.
Plans,
Nothing
right?
else.
It's all
Try not to slide too far.
Then do you guys ride on the tour bus at all, or do you prefer kind of locking yourselves up and really trying to let the creative juices flow and getting the roofs down, or do you have some roofs down?
Usually wait till we're done touring and wait till we
Right.
decompress from the pretty hectic schedule that we have when we're on the road.
It's hard to be creative on tour, isn't it?
It's
I
I
think
think
a lot of
it's just,
stuff to do. There's a lot of distractions.
Yeah.
They keep us pretty busy out here.
We're just so busy with these fan fucking interviews. You know what? And we play the same 15 songs every night or whatever.
Right.
And so if you try to go on the bus and write a song, it's probably going to sound like those 15 songs.
yeah,
Right,
exactly.
right.
It's almost smart to keep it fresh. We always hear about these bands that, they got 40 songs all written, ready to go to the studio. 40 songs.
Why need to break 40?
Yeah, they're just
40.
pumping out the same
Why
old
just
stuff.
right away 15?
Yeah, you always write like almost every song we write goes on a record.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm interviewing you tomorrow night too.
Oh, nice.
Really?
We're busy.
We'll be in Baltimore, but
Oh.
Busy that day.
Now, what advice do you have for new bands out there?
and for
trying to
new
make it?
guitarists. I'm a fairly new guitarist. What do we need to know?
For new bands, we always try to suggest that they just work on their songwriting, and image is not the most important thing, which a lot of bands for some reason seem to be it is, or even live performance isn't as important as you would like to when you write music, because you'll get better when your label and management label on the road. Forever, you'll get better when you play
And at the end of the day,
250 shows a year.
people buy great songs.
Yeah, you
They don't
gotta
buy
make
great
music.
live performances.
So really, you have to put all your focus into just making sure you can write music that people will want to hear.
Over and over again.
Yeah, and as far as guitar, it's just repetition. Play and play and play.
Play, drink, play,
Yeah, do some
play,
drugs.
wine, play,
We all
play,
complain.
Do some drugs.
playing some more. Got lots of going on there.
Now, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen a fan do?
I think
Oh.
one of the greatest stories that we tell is last summer we were doing a festival in Kansas City. It was rather warm out, so a lot of the girls were wearing bikini tops. And we were doing the autograph signing. I think it was after our set, and this girl came through, and she had already passed me, and I think passed Tyler.
Yeah, she's right in front of me.
She was on to Dave and Joe, the drummer, and there was this poor kid that had gone through right before her.
She
And
literally
she-
said the words to me, so
Yeah.
you have something to tell your friends.
Whipped her breast out and expelled breast milk.
Oh.
The table and
And the
I think
kid-
the little
the
kid
kid
got
got
some
hit.
on it. And everyone was clueless of
Wow.
what was going on.
Joe, our drummer's dry heaving. It was pretty funny. I was just like,
Are you sure you didn't have coffee with you? You didn't
No.
have some- yeah.
I was speechless. Like,
But
so
then
I was like,
everybody was
"Are you
talking
seeing
about that."
this? Everybody else, make
You
sure.
know, fans can get really
So yeah,
crazy.
there be something crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. That was the craziest thing I've ever
So
seen.
all the rumors over the years about fans getting really crazy, is that really like it is? Or is that how it was? And now really more people are just focused on getting out there.
Yeah, I think bands have learned from the past, or most bands have learned from the past and seen, some of the mistakes other bands have made, getting carried away.
Times have changed too.
Right.
You know, it's back even in the 80s, it's not like everybody was attached to their cell phone and their laptop computers and on the internet
Right.
and stuff. Like, you just go on tour and that was like, see ya in 2 months. And so there's no connection to your home life or any of that stuff, right?
Right.
So I think that's probably affected it in some way or another.
It's very different now.
Different times.
There was a lighter back then.
Yeah. Now it's on your
That's so fun.
Yeah, sold out.
So you guys are iPhone people?
Blackberry.
The BlackBerry, okay.
I got both.
Yes,
I got
there's
a
two with
BlackBerry
it.
and an iPhone.
It's like this, two-handed texting.
I get confused. I got both.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool. That's it.
I think we're getting the 2-minute warning.
That's good.
Thank you all so much.
Our pleasure.
This is cool.
Congratulations.
Hope the
Yeah,
fans
thanks for
appreciate
coming out.
that. Thank you.
It's great to meet
Do you guys have a minute to take some pictures?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cute. That's great.
Thank you.
Excuse me if I'm freezing cold.